Cool. Fine. We're up to part 4. This is the part that will begin to change your life. This is the part where when I started learning these. Okay, so these are my notes. Look, I'm just going to show you something, okay? So these are my notes from this course. So I was kind of taking it for myself because I wanted to change and I wanted to feel better. And so all this stuff is like all like what we learned till now. It's all like the head stuff. It's nice, it's good, it makes sense, it's true, attracting, all that. And then we land up in class 4. In class 4, it keeps going and going. But class 4 is really, really hands-on. Meaning you learn these techniques and do them and they'll work for you. You just have to do them. And it's... What? Yeah, I have a camera right here. Thank you. So it's kind of like it's kind of like the kind of thing that like when you hear it, it's going to make a lot of sense to you logically, and then when you're going to go home tonight, you're going to try it, and then it's going to work physically. It's going to actually work. Everything has a process. Everything has a formula. Everything has an equation, right? Everything has an equation. The way this juice is made, right? There's an exact formula for this juice. The way things are done, there's a formula for them. So when things are haywire in our lives, okay, when we feel like there's a mess here and a mess here and a mess here and a mess here, okay, so we'll see it in our house. We'll see our house could be like there's all these articles that like the messiest people are like highly intelligent, which I really think is could be. I think it's also that. The higher intelligence, what happens to people that are of higher intelligence is that they make themselves crazy. Which means that sometimes it's like, what's that saying that like it's better for you not to know? What's that thing? Oh, I forgot the saying. But it's almost like, sometimes when you don't know or are not so, if you're an emotionally and mentally intellectual person, you can't dodge it, you can't act stupid, you can't play dumb. Because you're not going to get enough out of life. You're just going to keep wanting more and more and more. You're thirsty. People like us are thirsty. People like us are not going to stay home when it's cold because we want to watch another Netflix thing when there's something else that I know is going to feed me on a different level, so I'm going to make it my business to go. I'm not going to just go. I'm going to pay money for it. And I'm going to show up. Who am I showing up for? Myself. That's it. That's the only person I'm showing up for. And people that are emotionally, mentally, spiritually developed or wanting to develop or feel a calling in that direction, there's just so much that the world that they're a part of can fill them up. Until they walk away, they can walk away every single time from hoping that this is going to give them something, walk away every single time feeling depleted. Not just empty, but depleted. How do you know when you're depleted? When you have no energy, when you're lethargic, when it's hard for you to move, and when things start to hurt. That's when you know that you're depleted. You're depleted energetically. You're depleted spiritually. You're depleted emotionally. Your internal world is depleted. That's where it's happening. You don't necessarily have to be in a bad relationship for you to feel depleted. You can be in a good relationship and feel depleted. You could be in a nice place. You could be in a bar with a bunch of friends, or in a bowling alley, or in a movie, or wherever, or in someone's living room. Okay? And be surrounded with a bunch of friends, but just not be getting what you need for yourself. And then the insanity begins. What's the insanity? The thoughts. What's wrong with me? Why am I this way? Why am I not normal? Everybody else has life. I don't have life. Right? I don't know how to do this. It's not working. And we point at our at the stuff that's not that's not going well in our life, like not being in a relationship or not having our goals set up exactly the way we want them for the next whatever, or being in a relationship and being unhappy in a relationship and not knowing what to do about it, having kids and not knowing how to get them to like listen, eat, be people, normal, like whatever, like being in a position where I feel out of control. When I feel out of control in my life, in whatever department I'm feeling out of control, I have to understand, I have to know. And this is where we're learning new stuff. This is where we're learning Kabbalah, really amazing information from our holy sources and our texts that tells us like this. You have to know. And this is what we said last time, and we're going to repeat it again in this context. Right on time? Hi. So we have to know like this. We have to know that whatever I see, this is already a premise that we discussed in the first two classes, second and third class. We have to know whatever I see externally, I have to know I'm only seeing it. I'm only bumping into it. I'm only experiencing it because it is a 100% reflection of my internal stuff. Okay, my internal wiring. There's wiring inside. I have wiring inside. I don't have just wiring in my brain. I also have wiring in my nefesh. Okay? My nefesh is, welcome. So my nefesh is a complicated department inside of me. It's complicated only because of the wires. It's complicated only because I've kind of assumed position for the past 20, 30 years. Meaning I came into this position and I've assumed it for so long. And feeling like there is no other thing for me, or there is no other profession, other kind of person, there's no other options. These are my options because this is where I'm standing. If you're standing here on second base, okay, and you're playing your baseball, and you're staying on second base, and that's what you've been staying your entire life. That's all you know. You know the angles, you know the balls, you know the bases, you know the players, you know everything. And all of a sudden someone puts you in third base, your whole understanding of where you are and how to gauge this, it gets messed up. Gets messed up for a while until you get the hang of it. Because that's how our brains work. Our brains are and our nefesh are very, very simple but complicated beings. Why? And it's all happening at the same time. Why? Because the only thing that manages them really, really well and that takes care of them and that puts you in the position that you're at today is familiarity, is what you know. And the Zohar calls it zichronot, tmunot, tziyurei nefesh. That's what the Zohar uses to explain what is tziyurei nefesh. Tziyurei nefesh is basically the thing, and I'm going to get to it in a second of exactly what it is, but it's the thing, it's my go-to. Meaning I bounce off of that and then I see life. I bounce off of that and then I find a spouse. I bounce off of that and then I have an experience. I bounce off of my tziyurei nefesh. That's what I'm working off of. What are these tziyurei nefesh? Tziyurei nefesh, as Zohar explains, are the pictures in your mind, in your subconscious, that you've been exposed to from the day you came into this world, okay, and some argue even before you came into this world, until now. Meaning the pictures that you were exposed to, the situations that you were in, the parents that you grew up in, the marriage that you saw that they had, the siblings that you had, the way you viewed yourself, the way your teacher spoke to you, all of your experiences, all of this lifetime that you've lived, all of this life that you have under your belt, that is what you're walking into the next day of your life with. Meaning, there's not going to be a chiddush, there's not going to be a new experience for you all of a sudden, even though it feels new right now. It feels new with this guy, it feels new with this girl. It's really not. In a matter of time, you'll see that it's a copy-paste of an older relationship that you had. It's a copy-paste of an older experience that you had because you're bringing all of your tziyurei nefesh with you, all of your zichronot, your tmunot. That's all we're working off of. So the question begs, what's the question? If I'm working off of these experiences and these images that have been planted in my life over the course of my lifetime, and that's what I'm working off of, then what's the question? If I want to change my life,
how do I change it? How do I bring your thing into my life?
Good. How do I, exactly, beautiful. So how do I rearrange the pictures, draw new pictures, create new presentations? Again, you're only going to get more of what you've had. You think it's a new day, but it's really it's a Groundhog Day. It's a repetition of something over and over and over and over and over and over again. You can't play the same movie on the projector and expect to see another movie on the wall. You're projecting exactly what's on the projector on the wall. Our nefesh is our projector. Our life is what's on the wall. That's the movie that we're watching, that we're experiencing, that we're living.
But what if we push ourselves out of our comfort zones, what you said last week? Is this going to help? Or
Beautiful.
Is there a technique?
Beautiful. So comfort zones, okay, I think that it's like the most, like every time I say the word comfort zone, I'm just like, I want to throw up on myself. Because it's like every YouTube video, everything that you listen to, everyone's like, coming out of your comfort zone, come out of your comfort zone, come out of your comfort zone. And it's true. That is where the recipe lays. That is the truth. But let's go into the building blocks of this understanding of comfort zones, this understanding of really planting a new picture in my brain. You have a new picture in your slide, you're going to get a new reality. You don't have to, what we're learning, the chiddush in these classes is that we don't need to be busy externally, ever. Don't fix him, don't try to, correct her or the situation or get another job or be in another city. Because you're just going to get the same thing everywhere you go with the next person that you're with. The number one thing I want you to get from these classes is all the work in your life. You see something screwed up in your life, look in. You see something not working, you're not making money, you're having a weird relationship with money, complicated, I'm always on like not having, struggling, not enough, look in. Everything is in. Everything is inside. Everything, because again, you are the projector of your life. Okay? You're the projector of your life. You have some people that are dyslexic. Some people that are dyslexic and grew up in terrible homes and turned into Tony Robbins. And turned into people that are just like these like magical people. All they did is change slides. All they did is they knew how to rewire. They knew how to rewire. I'm no longer repeating what my parents did because that's why we turn into our moms and our dads. Well, I'm never going to be like them. I'm never going to be like them. I'm never going to be like them. And all of a sudden, I'm like a walking, I'm literally them. I sound like them. I'm responding like them. I found. I'm just going to turn this off for one second. We'll be back. So I'm just saying a story that happened to me when I was little. So we were standing outside of the girl's mom's apartment for a long time. We had pizza. We had a pie of pizza in our hands. And we're standing out there for a long time. And her mother and her aunt and me and my friend were standing outside of this apartment. And, 45 minutes later, this, big black guy lets us in. Now, these girls were, white. Her mom was white, and they were, Jewish. And, So I didn't know what I was walking into. So I walk into this apartment. People are on the floor. People are in the living room, just sprawled out. Hi, welcome. People are just sitting there, just lying on the floor, sprawled. The lights are off in the house. There's some lights on, and this guy that opened the door for us was sweating buckets, and he was big, and he was tall, and he was muscular, and all of that, and he was very anxious. He seemed very anxious. He was walking back and forth, and again, all these people were on the floor, and I'm literally in second grade, okay. But I'm already sensing, and my friend's let's go play with our dolls in the bedroom. And I'm thinking okay, what's going on here? Something's going on here. Okay, I'm coming. I walk into the bedroom, we're sitting on the floor, we're playing Barbies, and I'm not settled. And I said, I have to go call my mom. So she's like, okay, go into my mom's room, you can call your mom from there. I walk into her mother's room. I remember there was a big queen-size bed, and then there was a phone with a wire. And there was a phone with a wire, and I picked up the phone, but the wire had been disconnected from the phone. So I was not going to do this. I wasn't, because the second I looked to the side, right next to the phone, there was a large tray of white powder, and a lot of white powder, and what's the word I'm looking for? The razor and the glass and all of it, okay? And I didn't know cocaine back then. I didn't know what cocaine looked like or that there was such a thing as cocaine, but I just knew in my heart, I just had this sinking feeling I shouldn't be here. So I hung up the receiver, and I went back to her and I said, my mother's so upset with me. She wants me home this second, and she's really angry and she wants me home now. And hey, now we're officially friends.
Yeah. I wanted to listen to the talk before.
Oh, which one? Last week's?
No, I wanted to start again from one.
Okay, I'll send it to everyone. So her mom was literally, I went into the dining room and her mom was literally about to, her mother was about to snort a line of cocaine. And she saw me and she put it down and she said, what do you need? And I said, I need you to take me home now. I really need to get home. And she took me home. And then I remember, this is the scene that I remembered. I remember walking into the kitchen and my mother's cutting a salad and my father's sitting by the table. And I said to them, you don't even know what happened. And my mother's like, what happened? Fridge, cabinets, thing, knife, cutting board, vegetables. What happened? And I'm like, so I walk in and so this whole story. And she's like, oh my gosh, you should never go there again. That's crazy. And my father was like, yeah, don't go to these people ever again. He was busy with something. And I was thinking to myself, it can't be that this is that they don't hear what I'm trying to say to them. So for years, I had this anger. Why didn't you ever listen to me? Why didn't you ever listen to me? Why didn't you ever listen to me? And All I know today is that I've done a lot of work with my parents, a lot of work by myself with my parents. I never went with them to any specific place. It's exactly what we're learning here. Maybe if your parents are the type that you can drag them into a therapy session, and maybe if you can have a therapy session with them, try it. But all I know that really, really works is that you do the work within, and then the relationship works out on the outside. And my whole taina was always, my whole complaint on them was always like, you didn't listen to enough, you didn't care enough, you weren't there enough, you weren't by my side enough. And now, it's funny, 2 days ago, okay? 2 days ago, I felt like I just, when you wrap something up fully, and then it's like you take it and you put it away, you put it in your boydom. That's what I did 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I felt like that's it. It's been a work in progress for many, 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 many years, and now I was able to finally put it away, but really put it away, and have no complaints anymore, and just love them, and just see the good in them, and just see how all of that made me into me today. And I had to go through that. I had to. He didn't know any better. She didn't know any better. What am I going to, I can't argue with not having enough knowledge. It's like telling someone that's in a wheelchair, stand up. Why can't you stand up? Just stand up. What's your problem? I need your help. Stand up. You don't see me. You don't love me. I'm not important to you. I love you. I see you. You're important to me. I can't stand up. I'm paralyzed. I have a handicap. And once that whole experience really fully sat in me, that day, my mother sends me a text message. How you doing? I'm like, good. I'm preparing for something. Where are you? I'm home, but I'm leaving soon. This was yesterday. Okay, where are you, Ima? No, we're out, whatever. Okay, so because I was already in this place of have moved so much, I just wanted to talk to her, so I called her. I didn't call her, I FaceTimed her, so I was able to see her. And she's like, oh, look where I am. And then she takes the phone and she points it out the window. And they're on their way to Yerushalayim. And I'm like, why are you coming to Yerushalayim? And they're like, we're coming to see you. We miss you. Okay. That's never happened. It's usually like, can you come? No, we're tired. We have things to do. Can you come? It's Alicia's birthday. We'll send him 50 shekels in the mail. It's hard for us. I was not feeling it. It was like, but the day. Why? Because I put it away on the inside, and all of a sudden, externally, and they came from their own will, and they wanted to just be with me, and they were asking me questions, and they were there for me like I've always wanted them to be for me. And the best part about the whole thing was that I wasn't desperate or needy for that anymore. So it was normal, so it was nice. And if they didn't respond the way I wanted them to respond, it's okay. So that's exactly what we're learning here, and that's the recipe for everything, okay? It's the recipe for everything. It's every relationship to money, to friends, to pals, to parents, to spouses, to everyone. It starts with yourself, okay? And where does it start off with? Where does it begin? It begins with the pictures, the zichronot, the tziyurei nefesh. The tziyurei nefesh are the what you saw and the definition that you gave what you saw. 2 pieces. Okay, so let's start. Let's work this into a methodology. Okay, here we go. So 2 things. Okay, this is how you create your internal world. Okay, our internal world is based on. Tell me. Your internal world is based on. Your nefesh is based on. Meaning your experiences with life are based on what?
Environment?
Where are you gauging things from? Where are you understanding things
Your
from?
senses.
Your
Senses.
We just said it.
Ruach.
Which? What's that? I love you. What's guach? What is it? The nefesh, the ruach. So we said before. It's tziyurei nefesh, which means the pictures that are in your subconscious. Pictures from every single part of your life. Every chapter of your life, every moment, every day, there's a picture, okay? Now when you were little and as you were growing up, you gave definition to those pictures. You said, when that teacher goes, that means I'm no good. Okay? You gave definition to what that could have been that she had a stroke. and her face is weird, right? It didn't have to mean anything about you, but you automatically took it to mean something. And we've been doing this our entire life, okay? And based on those pictures, that's what we keep getting. Based on what we're coming from, that's what we're going to keep recycling, okay? We recycle. You're not just stuck with the guy because you're like, someone's punishing you. You're not stuck with this position, this job, or this life because someone's punishing you. It's the exact opposite, and that's what we're learning in Abdullah. We're learning the exact opposite of like this is. Number one, this is not the same number one. Okay, but number one is, the only reason that you're surrounded by what you're surrounded by and you're going through what you're going through and your hardships are the way they are is only because Hashem loves you so, so much that He keeps bringing into your surrounding, into your experience, the things that you literally cannot leave this world without looking at and making peace with. You can't. You're not going anywhere for a long time until you begin to understand that there is no person here. If I'm gauging, tell me your name. Jenny. If I'm going to gauge Jenny, if I'm going to see Jenny and I'm going to be like thinking negative things about her, okay? I have to know in that moment, Jenny was only put in my face, and the things that are coming up that are negative that I think you're amazing and you're beautiful, okay? Really. But the only thing if I keep coming up with negativity, then I have to know she was put in my path for me to see that inside of me. She was put in my path as a mirror. That's it. That's bottom line. Okay? When I attack Jenny, why aren't you like what I need you to be? Why don't you see me? Why don't you love me, mom, dad, husband, wife? Why can't you, whatever, okay, help me, support me, be there for me, cushion my fall, understand me, whatever it may be? What I'm doing is what I'm only doing is fighting with myself. I'm fighting with self. And no, there's no point in fighting with self, because when I fight with myself, I get nowhere, and I get nowhere fast. What happens externally is that I detach from people, and people detach from me. Because people see through it. People, you have your take, but it's coming from your internal world on something that they're doing or they're saying or they're reacting, and they're coming from an entire different internal world with their childhoods and their pictures and their understandings and so he's detaching and she's getting anxious, or she's detaching and he's getting anxious. Why? Because it's repetitive actions, it's repetitive thoughts, it's repetitive pictures that both of them they're just on play. They're robots. They're brainwashed. Call it whatever you want to call it. They're on repeat. So we are learning now tonight how to break that pattern, how to not be on repeat, how to understand that really every person that's sent into my life is a blessing, especially if it's people that I have beef with. It's a blessing because there's no way that I'm going to see it really into my nefesh that really what I am really is I gossip about people, I think negatively about everything, I'm judgmental, I am cheap, I'm a thief, I'm a liar. We all have those tunos in us. We all have those characteristics in us. So all of a sudden you'll see a thief, cab driver, sees Americans, and he just like thinks like, cha-ching. You only experience a cab driver that's like that because he was only put into your space for you to say, okay, so I have an issue with money. I have an issue with being cheap. I have an issue. It's easy for me to buy a 15 shekel iced coffee, but if somebody asks me for tzedakah, I'm like, whoa, go get a job. Like, hello, some people get like angry when people ask them for tzedakah? Why are you getting angry? Where's the anger coming from? There's like this like animosity. Today I was sitting on King George in town, in Jerusalem. Tons of people were, like, I was sitting outside, and literally in 5 minutes I had like 4 beggars standing in front of me. And I saw like other people reacting to them. Wow, it was such a crazy, you see it. Why? Because inside their nefesh, unless they're working on it, I remember having those feelings as well. But I did the work of Abdullah enough to detach myself from those feelings. To no longer be in a space of like, you're asking me for money? Look at you. You're right, like, get a job, But no, right? I was able to do the work. Whatever he does with the money, whoever he is, he walked onto my scene, onto my stage for 30 seconds for me. Okay? For you. Some people walk 30 seconds along your side. Some people walk 20 years by your side. Some people go with you to the next world. Some people spend 3 months with you and they're gone. Some people spend 3 nights with you and they're gone. Everyone that walks onto your scene, onto your stage in life, you gotta know they're a prop in your life. They were placed there. They were strategically put there. And the Baal Shem Tov teaches. He teaches like this. He says, if you see a person and you immediately judge them, you think like, oh, smells like ew, or like, like what do you do with that? What do you do with when someone like is just ugly and they're smelly and they have poor hygiene? Like I'm good, I showered. Like, what do you do in situations where you can't see it in yourself? We'll get to that in a second. But let's say you have someone that just like smells and is like weird and right? So the Baal Shem Tov says, if the first thing that comes up for you, if the emotion, if the gut reaction that comes up for you is, oh, poor guy, let me help him, let me give him a shekel, okay, let me buy him a sandwich. That means that he was put in your path for you to help him, because you have something in your nefesh that can help this person. If the first thing that comes up for you, if the gut reaction, if the initial knee-jerk reaction is, oh, so sweet, I feel so bad for him, or how can I help this person? Or if that's what comes up for you, if the person is like exploding in front of you and like angry and just like seething, and what you see in them is like a broken little child that was abused, the Baal Shem Tov says that you're a tzaddik and your neshama was put into this person's life in order for you because only you can help them in that way and in some measure. You don't have to take this person on you now, you don't have to become their therapist, but in that experience right there, you can help them. But if the first thing that comes up for you is you see someone getting angry and screaming or stealing or, driving with a coffee in their hand and a cell phone in their hand and, smoking a cigarette and listening to Waze and adjusting the radio and like cutting you off, right? If the first thing that comes up for you is, what a jerk, right? Ew. If that's the first thing that comes up for you, you have to know that it's shemetz minahu. That's what we said last time. It's a mirror that's going on in the inside. There's a mirror situation. Okay, so listen. We said this last time. We said everything that we're learning, everything that we're seeing, it's a few-step process. Okay, now what we're going to talk about right now is these tziyuah nefesh. These tziyuah nefesh are the program that we want to change. We don't want to turn into our parents. We don't want to repeat the same stuff. Oh, so why did I tell you about that thing with my parents? Also, because all of a sudden I'll notice myself standing by the kitchen, cutting up, and like my kids are talking to me and I literally don't hear them. And this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Really? Really? Okay. When you're a parent, you understand what that means. You hear their voice and you just like, you go elsewhere. God forbid, I love them to death. But like sometimes you can get there. And ever since I started doing this work, I made it my business to put down the knife or put down the phone or put down whatever it is and make eye contact with child and say, and really focus on the words that he's saying and what he's trying to tell me. And he could be describing a dinosaur for 35 minutes. Mm-hmm. And but this dinosaur, I see that it's connected to him and he cares about it and he loves it and he wants to say something about it and that it means something to him. So it's not about the dinosaur, it's about my child. So, but doing that, like if I had a mother that would do that, then it would be second nature. If I had a mother that would wake up in the morning and say, Modani lefanecha melecha vekaya, then I would do that with my kids. But you know how many times I forget to say Modani with them? Almost every day. Why? Because I don't have that in my tziyuah nefesh. I don't have that here in the back of my head. I've been religious since I'm 12. I've been davening since I'm 12. I've been Beisakov. I don't have the pre-recorded records. Understand? But what I do have the pre-recorded records for, like the things that I saw when I was a little girl, the relationship that I saw, the interaction that I saw, my mother getting hurt and getting cold, stone ice, right? And then giving my father a cold shoulder, and how my father reacts to that. And then when I was married, I would do that, and not realizing that I'm doing the same thing over and over again, right? And then seeing it in him. Why is he being so stone cold? Why is he being so stone cold? I'm so emotional, I'm so loving, I'm so nurturing. Look at him being all stone cold. Not knowing that what I'm looking at is a mirror of self. Now, why do I need all these mirrors in my life? I need all these mirrors in my life because en adam ro'eh negeh atzmo. Person cannot see their shortcomings. We can't. Impossible. You can be bad. You can knock yourself. You can say like, I'm so fat, or I don't know how to make money, or I'm not a good friend, or whatever you want to say. But that's not really seeing yourself. That's not seeing the thief inside, the liar inside, and all of the other qualities that we have inside. And they were put in there. They were put in there. It wasn't your fault, okay? None of this is your fault. You are, this is the thing. This is what everyone needs to understand. This is a obstacle course, this life. The reason that we are in an obstacle course is because getting through the obstacle course is where we find our gems and our jewels. That's where the points are. You know, like Mario? Yeah, what's it called? Mario?
Brothers.
No.
Super
Mario. So he goes and then he has to like fall down the thing, but then there's a coin down there, right? And then he jumps up and he hits his head, but there's like 4 coins that come out of his like thing that he hits his head with, right? Same thing. We're falling, we're tripping, we're in this obstacle course called life. We come with all these like records from our family and where we come from. We think that like, you know, someone put us in the wrong place at the wrong time because we really don't belong in that family. To those parents, we are so much more evolved and educated and intellectual and they understand more. But all of that was necessary. And then we're in this obstacle course, in this challenge. And the whole point of this whole obstacle course is to get the diamonds and to get the coins. And the only way to get the coins is to clearly understand what is going on. Clearly understand the rules of the game. Clearly. That's the only way to get the coins. Now, what are the rules of the game? Nobody gets it. Go outside. Nobody understands. What are people showing? Like, what's going on TV? What are the biggest shows? Biggest shows are the ones that are like the ego ones. Revenge, right? It's all the qualities that we're meant to look at inside that are what we use on the outside. For example, someone hurts you, you hurt them back. Someone steals from you, you steal back. Someone doesn't invite you to their bar mitzvah or their wedding, guess who's not getting an invitation? Right? We play this game in this world because no one really knows how to play the game. So we're in this game, we're on this obstacle course, we can get to like the most maximizing experience in life. This is a one life situation that we have with a certain amount of time that we have, and we can get to the end and we can experience this life like all the other magical people that we mentioned before have. Okay, so you have from the gamut of Tony Robbins on one hand to the Havdil of Chaim Kanievsky, right, where these people have come into this world, they understood the directions, the manual, how it works, and then they go for it. So with this specific thing that I'm talking about, this specific thing of the nefesh, the number one thing we're learning here is number one, it's all a mirror of self. Okay, so if I'm looking in the mirror and there's something dirty on my face, then I'm going to see it. And if there's nothing dirty on my face, I'm not going to see it. You only see what's there. Period. Okay. Since that's the case. So I need to know what to do about these things. Because if I'm just recycling, if I'm just projecting, and I have all the power to be able to stop it, rewire it, and then project what I want, and project what I believe in, and who I really am, and not just be a repeat of somebody else. So what do I do? How do I undo these tziyura nefesh? How do I undo these pictures, these concepts, these thoughts? So Jen said, comfort zones. Okay, she said comfort zones, which is exactly it, because that's what we learned last time. So we're going to understand this from a Kabbalistic perspective and how these things work. Okay, once your mind connects to the ABCs, then when you're in the situation next time, you'll be able to get so much smarter. You're not gonna someone punched me, let me punch me back. Someone yelled at me, let me yell him back. You're not gonna have this engagement with life anymore. You're going to be able to disengage from this scenario and see it for what it is. Just like I disengaged from my cutting board and I engaged with what was important. You get good at it. That's why this course is so brilliant, because you practice it a little bit and then you get good at it, and all of a sudden it's the first thing that jumps up in your mind. But like anything, you have to practice it. That's the thing. Okay, so he says like this. He says the way to get rid of tzilah nefesh or undo tzilah, detach from tzilah nefesh. Okay, let's say for example you are a person that is. Give me an example. Something that's relevant to you. You're a person that you have X going on in your life that you're unhappy with, and you keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again, and you want to stop it. You want to create a new script.
Like self-sabotage.
I guess so, yeah. Exactly. So you want to create a new script for yourself. And divorce promising you that it's possible to create a new script for yourself. It means you don't have to suffer in this area anymore. Do you understand what that means? This specific area, you don't have to suffer anymore in it. You just have to know the 1 + 1 = 2 and stop saying 1 + 1 = 11. It doesn't equal 11, it equals 2. So you just have to get that. When you get that, do it. All of a sudden you'll be like, oh, I have a different, I'm experiencing something different. So give me an example of something in your life that you feel that you're just experiencing over and over again in different ways, and it's always coming back with the same feeling.
Indecision.
Indecision.
Yeah.
Like?
Everything from like relationships, jobs, which I scream like it's like really hard for me to make a decision.
And how about how are you with people that are indecisive? Do you find them? Are you closer to people that are decisive, or are you closer to people like yourself?
I never really thought about it, but I like softer, spiritual kind of people. But it's not. I didn't think of the.
How are they when it comes to choosing ice cream, buying clothes?
I think people are more decisive than me around me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we dig into you for a second?
Yeah.
You do mind?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. So with in your childhood, okay, so did you see a decisive parent or an indecisive parent?
Well, I never thought about it, but
Your mom.
I think decisive.
Very decisive.
Yeah, more on the dad's side than the mom's side.
And your mom?
Kind of going along with
Yeah.
the dad's side.
So you see that your father was the deciding person. He called the shots. You were going to walk into the ice cream store and he would tell you what to get? Would he order for you?
No, but he made all the decisions. Also, like emotional decisions in the house as well.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So what happens if you're learning to tie your shoelace and I keep telling you, let me just tie it for you. It's going to take you 5 hours. Let me just do it for you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
You don't learn, you don't get confident in your ability.
Right, exactly. So now you know exactly why you're indecisive, okay? Because you've never been given the choices when you were a kid to choose, to decide. They'll tell you in every good parenting book, they'll tell you, always give your kids choices, even if you have to make it up. Like, do you want like hamburgers and fries and salad for dinner, or do you want a piece of cheese? Right? So like, you don't have to, they could say piece of cheese or they could say that, okay? But you should give them options, only to help them practice deciding for themselves. That's the only thing. Do you want to wear this or do you want to wear that? Okay, are you in the mood of this or are you in the mood of that? You give them a space to be able to be decisive. So of course you're going to be attracted to decisive people, because that's your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what we're going to learn now is you're going to learn how to apply these techniques to decision making. Comfort zone. Comfort zone is saying, I don't know what to do. Comfort zone is saying, I don't know how to make money. Comfort zone is saying, I'm stuck in a bad marriage or in a bad relationship. I don't know. Comfort zone, that's comfort zone, okay? So now we're going to move into understanding what the comfort zone is. Ready? Everyone? Up? You're all up?
Yes.
Drink some water. Don't drink Coke. Who buys Coke for my
Sometimes
classes?
you're comfortable with a good salary, but not with it.
What's that?
You're comfortable with something that is okay for you, like you're paying your bills, and you get comfortable with the money situation, but you're not really feeling it. You're there for a reason.
Right, because you're playing it safe.
Yes.
Right.
Playing it safe.
You're playing it safe. So that's comfort zone. You're playing it safe. It's easy. It's easier. not to throw yourself in the water, especially if you don't have to. If you have to go out and make money, then it's like, I have to go out and make money, and it's like a whole like hard situation. I don't have money, so I have to. But if you don't have to, it's even harder.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to, it has to come from you, like the motivation has to come from you. But you have to know that you're not going to get that like peak out of life and that feeling of like I'm alive and I'm living my life and it's so awesome and who can I help and who can I inspire and what can I do and where can I fix the world. I'm not going to get that kind of feeling if I'm playing it safe. Ever. You always have to walk on the edge in life in order to feel alive. Always. And the edge doesn't mean bungee jumping, and it doesn't mean whatever. It doesn't mean that. The edge means a place that makes you uncomfortable. A place that makes you uncomfortable. It's comfortable for me to have my coffee. It's comfortable for me to have my car. It's comfortable for me to just keep a low profile. Let me just keep a low profile. I have my money coming in. I can pay my rent. I can pay my bills. Everything's fine. Let me just keep a low profile. Coming out of comfort zone is almost having to go to like a singles event and meet someone. It's so out of my comfort zone because and you go. Why? You're only going. Why? Not because I believe in single, whatever. What are they called again? I just said it. Single events. I don't necessarily believe in that so much in the whole single event thing, but that's my own thing. But I do believe in putting yourself in a position where you're uncomfortable. At least once a day. At least once a day, put yourself in a position where you're uncomfortable. Uncomfortable can mean, right now I really want a coffee. Yum. I really, really want a coffee. Okay, 1 second. You can have a coffee. There's nothing wrong with the coffee, but we want to exercise this muscle in our nefesh. That is the only way to detach from the pictures. That's the only way to find yourself. That's the only way not to be your mom or your dad or a combination of both. That is the only way not to repeat and mimic what you grew up seeing and knowing. That's the only way to bust out and to be you. The only way to be happy in this life is to bust out and be you. To be you experiencing life. That's the only way to be happy. The reason that a lot of us are unhappy is because we're living with these 10 commandments, which are not the real ones, the other ones, okay, that we have in our heads. This is how to talk, and this is how to be proper, and this is how to live, and this is how to do, and this is how to, this, and this, and this, and this, and we don't fit into that mold. We're not living from ourselves, we're living from this old thing, testament, okay, that we were given by our family, or we were given at some point and we understood. The number one way to come out of that, number one way to start projecting new things onto your screen is to come out of comfort zones. Now let's understand this from a Kabbalistic perspective. Okay, there's something called O. O is light. Okay? O. It's also called the O Ein Sof. Okay, so there's something that's coming into the world 24/7 on a spiritual level that allows everything to manifest, and that is the O. That is light. Now it's not physical light. Okay, the light that we're talking about here, and catch this, because if you get it, then you'll get a lot of clarity. Okay, the light that we're talking about here is good. It's pleasure. It's nice. That feeling when you take that bite of your favorite chicken soup, or you're trying on those boots and you love them and they fit so well. That feeling when you fall in love. That feeling when you are flying on a vacation and going to a vacation and you're so excited. That feeling of good, of pleasure, of yes. That feeling is okay? You're being filled with pleasure. You're being filled with light. Wait. Okay? So we have this why don't I feel this all the time? Why should I feel this all the time? Because this is the Ein Sof. It's never ending. This light, it's called light, but it's hard to understand when it's that feeling of satisfaction, fulfillment, pleasure, goodness, even from that bite of ice cream, that feeling, that pleasure that everyone's after. Why is everyone after money and sex and fun? And why is everyone after this stuff? They're after this stuff because it gives them that light feeling. It gives them that pleasurable feeling. That's what we all want to feel. That's what we're all after. That's what we're going to literally give up our lives for. To feel good. Okay? And that's what we're looking for all the time. So this light is something that's constantly being dropped down into the world, constantly being given into the world. It's what allows the world to exist. Okay? That's what that's why he created the world, to always give this light, to always give this pleasure, to always give this good. The reason that I'm not experiencing 24/7 pleasure, is because of this. It all goes into the kli. The kli is the vessel. Okay? There are vessels. Each one of us is a vessel. Each one of our wanting to receive is a vessel. The reason that you want that cup of coffee, the reason that you want that kiss, the reason that you want that vacation, the reason that you want that job, the reason that you want that money is because you are a vessel. And vessels, by definition, are here to be filled. That's what their position is. That's what their position is, to be filled. That's why they're here in the first place. A vessel this cup is not here to give anyone anything. This cup is to be filled. That's why it looks this way. That's why it's shaped this way. It's here to be filled. That's a vessel. Okay? We are vessels. Our nefesh is all vessel. It's one big vessel. Okay. The language of the vessel, the language of the kli, is the kabela atzmo. The kabela atzmo means to take for himself. That's the idea of the vessel. I'm giving you I'm like literally Zohar for dummies. All right, here. This is like we're doing like a basic understanding of this concept. Once you understand this concept, you'll see it in a lot of places in Kabbalah because it's the basis. This is the fabric of our experience here on this planet. So you have this vessel, and the vessel's quality, tchuna, is the kabela atzmo. He is here to receive. The light, the pleasure, is all the quality here is called lashpia. Well, mashpia. He is constantly the tchuna, the personality, the characteristic, the type, the whatever, however you want to, the archetype of the light is to give. The vessel receives. Now, this is where things get sticky. And if you learn any of the law of attraction stuff on YouTube and any of that stuff, if they would know this, they would fill up so many holes in their logic and their understanding. And this is why, we learn the law of attraction really from the Torah, because it's so solid. So solid, you understand it from beginning to end how it works. Not like, I want something, let me focus on it as much as I can, and I'll manifest it. That's not how it goes. Not how it goes. You can manifest anything if you're there with it, which means that the principles in spirituality are like this. Continue.
Attracts like.
Good. Someone's listening. Like attracts like. That is the principle of life, principle of psychology, principle of spirituality. Like will always attract like. That's how they come together. That is how like things come together. That is the principle of life. You're going to be with somebody that you feel like is so opposite to you. Look again. It could be that he's on one side of the spectrum and you're on the other side of the spectrum, not the autistic spectrum. The spectrum, okay? And you could be literally the same person with the opposite. You could be the same thing having the opposite experience of that characteristic. Okay? But if they're in your life and they're close to you, you have to know like attracts like. What you see in them is you. So, since like attracts like, and in order for me to experience the pleasure in my life, since I'm a vessel, and all the oil does is give and give and give. That's all the oil does. It's all good. It's all pleasure. It's that bite of ice cream. It's that trip. It's that getting that money. It's that experience, that good feeling. Since all of the oil is about pleasure, and all of our being is about taking, we have to know that it's never going to work. Meaning, in order for something to connect, it has to be likened to each other. So, and this is the last part that's going to be technical and difficult, and then we're gonna end with something else. In order for those two to match, in order for the light to meet the vessel, in order for you to get what you want, in order for you to feel good, in order for your internal atmosphere, environment to be good, you have to know that you have to liken yourself to the qualities of the light. You have to become like the light. What does the light do? The light gives. What do? What's our natural, since we're babies, what's our natural thing? Take. Right? Where a person is born, the babies are born like this. Right? Because when a person dies, how do they die? Like this. Right? That's how it goes. When a person comes into this world, and they want to take for themselves. That's why we're so egocentric. That's why everything, the world surrounds me, evolves around me, everyone's here to make me happy. Why isn't this person responding the way I want them to respond? Why isn't this person giving me what I need? Why is my boss not seeing me? Why is my wife, husband not seeing me? Where am I in the equation? Because we have this koach l'kabel atzmo, and it's strong. It's very, very strong. It's the reason we get up in the morning. It's our instinct for survival. That's where it comes from. So preserve this thing. Preserve this person. Preserve this being. That's where it comes from. It's called koach l'kabel atzmo. That's what it's called. That's what it's called. And that is the very loud voice of the vessel. Now, in order for us to receive pleasure, good things that we want, we have to liken ourselves to the quality of the light. The quality of the light is in the position of a giver. It's always giving. The light is always coming into this world. The light is always being put on you. The only reason that all of a sudden now you see things that 10 years ago you didn't see is because you went through so many things inside of your nefesh that have broken you, that have shaped you, that have carved you, that now all of a sudden you're much more either you are or you're not. But if you're able to experience something that you've never experienced before, it's because not that thing was never there before, not that it was never standing in front of you, not that you couldn't have experienced it 10 years ago. It's just that you were not aware, you're not there. You were a square and it was a circle. So you're a square, it's a circle, it can't match, it can't fit, there's no room, it doesn't work. In order for the light to meet the vessel, in order for the good experiences to come into your life, in order for you to manifest really what you want to manifest, you have to know that like attracts like. You have to liken yourself to the power, the koach, the characteristics of the light. And the characteristics of the light is to lashpia, is to give. So how do I do that? How do I give? Okay? How do I give? So this is what we're going to go back to what we said last week. Okay? And we're going to end with this. This is what we're doing. We give like this. Ready? And this is going to come full circle for you. We give like this. Hashem sholach or. Hashem sends light into a person's life. Anything. Your spouse is literally waiting outside this building. It could be down the block, around the corner. It could be that the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, that you're looking for, that you're dying to meet, is right here. But in order for the two of you to connect, both of you have to do some light work. Why? Because if I am all about me and she's all about her, then it's never gonna, even if we're meant for each other, even if we're like on the same soul and all of that, it's really never gonna go. It's never gonna go. It's never gonna connect. It's every person seeing themselves. In order for this to work, I have to be able to put myself in a position of giver position. How do I put myself in a giver position if I'm not a giver? If I don't want to be a giver, if I want to be a taker, if I want them to see me, invite me, like me, buy me, give me, kiss me, take me, then how do I make myself into a giver? And this is how you do it. It's very, very simple. Ready? This is literally what I was looking for my entire life because I wasn't naturally such a giver. Where is the thing to erase? Okay, whatever. Here, watch this. Okay, ready? So, O, Kli, Masach, O, Chozel. Okay, that's the ideal. I want to receive good. So, I am a vessel. In order for me to be able to receive in my vessel, I need to create a Masach. Now, a Masach, before we get into the Masach, now, what if there's chocolate on the table right now and I want it? I crave it. I want it. So what do? I
Take it, eat it.
Good, thank you. I take it and I eat it. So I take it and I eat it. When I take it and eat it, how long does the experience last for? Seconds. And then what?
Feel bad.
Or
you want more.
You're out of yourself. So you want more or you're just done.
Yeah.
It's over. The moment that chocolate's in your mouth, that's you experiencing oh. You understand? So good. So good. Right? That moment, that good, that's you experiencing oh. Now what happens? You wanted it, you took it. Why did you take it? Just to give you some kind of good feeling. That's what you took it. That's the only reason why you took it. You had no other agenda, no other reason. There was nothing else going on. You wanted it because it's yummy, because you had a thing for it, a ta'ava for it, so you took it and you ate it. Now, what happens on a spiritual level there is that our kli gets filled with O. Our vessel gets filled with O. So good. when our vessel gets filled with awe, our need for it goes away. You're hungry, you're in the mall, I'm hungry. You eat it, and then the hunger goes away. You fill, the vessel is needing to be filled. You fill the vessel is the need. You fill the vessel with what you want. It's the good feeling, the pleasure of the food, let's say, for example, right now, okay, or the money, or whatever. You fill it up with a thing, and then the need goes away. You don't feel that anymore. You're full. You're good. Okay? Okay? Mm-hmm. That's why this class for the ladies here, that's part of our power in a relationship. Okay? And that's part of what we have to be focused on and careful with. Because when certain needs are filled, then the need for the relationship goes away. So it needs to be very, very clearly navigated. Okay, and then what happens? What happens is that the light leaves. The feeling is over. The good feeling, the taste, it's done. It's gone. The light leaves. What happens to the vessel is that the Zohar explains is an ofela klipot. It falls into something called klipot. Okay? Klipot. These are all technical terms for everything that we feel 24/7. We're experiencing all the time. If you would understand what klipot are, you'd be like, oh, I know her. My BFF. Like, I get it. What's a klipot? Klipot is the vessel. What happens is the vessel got filled with light, and then the light left, the good feeling left, and then the actual vessel shatters and falls into the klipot. What are the klipot? Klipot are, they manifest in more of a hunger for the thing itself. Okay? So, for example, you smoke pot. Okay? First time you ever smoke pot. So you smoke pot, and then after you do it for the first time, it's like, oh my God. Not that I would ever know. Just saying. So you smoke pot for the first time, and then it's like, wow. And then to repeat that experience again, you'll never get the same experience from the first time you did a drug. Ever. You'll never get that same, maybe it depends what drugs you do, that's the truth, have to really be careful. But even heroin, I've spoken to lots of people, I've been in many rehabs and circles around the world, and they've all said it to me. I never heard one person say, the only person I've heard say to me that it was ayahuasca, but there was a lot of time in between, so I don't know, it could be. But let's say, for example, so with this thing, right, with the drug. So what's happening spiritually? What's happening spiritually is that they're taking the drug, it's filling them up like crazy. Heroin, okay? Wow! They're like literally like in a different planet. It's the most incredible feeling. Then the light leaves their system, the high goes away, and then the kli, the vessel that they had in their system, they had in their nefesh, shatters and falls into the klipot. Now, how do they feel? They feel like they were just run over by a truck. They feel terrible. They don't see the lights and the people, and they don't want to love and hug anymore. What do they want now? More. Because the klipot are there. They're, what the Zohar describes is that like they're almost like these demonic voices, these urges that are coming from a place that is unhealthy for us. So it's the only way to be able to fully get rid of those urges for things. That's why people are overweight. That's why people are stuck. That's why people are unhappy. Why? Because they keep doing the same thing that's giving them that satisfaction for seconds, for moments. It's literally moments, and then they have an urge for it again, and people get tired of themselves. People get tired of going to the same club, people get tired of going to the same party, people get tired of eating the same stuff and being overweight and being sick and being tired, and they're just so tired of it. But they don't know how to step off the merry-go-round. They don't know how to step off the merry-go-round. It's so simple to step off the merry-go-round. But why is it so hard for them? Because these demonic voices, because these klipot are very, very strong. And the more you feed them, the hungrier they get. The more they want that thing. That's why it's so difficult to break a habit. Not because it's really difficult to break a habit. It's really not that difficult to break a habit. Okay, it depends which habit we're talking about. But like non-addictive habits, like stopping to, let's say, eat eggs in the morning and instead replace it with the green juice, is not hard. It's not hard. It's all in here. Why is it all in here? Because I'm so used to my eggs and my toast and my jam and my butter and my whatever, my sausage. I'm so used to that, my thing, that once I stop filling my vessels with that pleasure, then what happens is that all of a sudden these klipos are just like, give it to me. And the only way The only way to get rid of these urges, to get rid of the thing that keeps pushing me back into the same habit over and over again, the only way to get rid of it is to starve it. Like candida. Starve it. Don't give it sugar. You want the fungus to go away? You want yourself not to have a big slimy worm in your stomach? Then stop feeding it. What does it feed on? Sugar. So stop feeding it sugar. Same thing. You stop feeding the habit with what it is and replace it with something else. So now, and we're going to end with this, so because you all look like you're working your brains really, really hard. Or like, super cute. Okay, so what we do then, the Zohar explains to us. You're going for that cup of Coke. You're going for the cup of Coke. Before you have the cup of Coke, put up a masach. Put up a masach, because we're not interested in the ol. The Zohar says we can't handle the ol. We can't handle having the ol fill up our vessels and then leaving us and then these vessels being shattered. We can't handle the ol. We need something called the ol chozer. What is this ol chozer? This is how to be able to liken myself to the ol. This is how to be able to put myself in a giving position. This is how to be able to change myself from a taker to a giver. This step right here. Watch this, okay? What do? You have a need, you have a want for something. You want to go out, you want to eat, you want to party, you want to smoke, you want to get high, you want to do whatever. You want the good feeling. So what do? You have a plea because you're desperate for it, so you're thirsty for it. So you want to fill your plea. But wait, before you fill your plea with whatever good feeling you want to get to, the first thing you have to do right now is put up a masach. A masach means put up a wall, put up a boundary, put up a few minutes between you and that drink. Meaning, what are you really doing to your nefesh? You are controlling the urges of your nefesh. What does that do for you? That changes you. That changes you. You're no longer reacting from knee jerks. You're no longer mom and dad. You're no longer your old self. You're no longer what's expected. You're no longer what's in the projector projecting onto the screen. Now you are changing the script. You take a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's not about the Coke and it's not about anything. It's about you. It's about our process. It's about this obstacle course. It's about getting the coins. It's about becoming a better self, more of ourselves, filling up our battery, charging ourselves, and not always living our lives on 5%. Moving it up. Have the Coke, go get high, go out, go do whatever you're doing, but create a masach. Creating a masach means I'm going to eat this chocolate, but I'm going to eat it in 10 minutes. I'm going to go out, but I'm going to go out in an hour. First, I'm going to clean my room. First, all you're doing is training self, training the beast. That's all you're doing. You're putting a leash on your dragon. That's what you're doing. And what happens when you do that, then you get something called the ol chozer. Ol chozer is very simple. The light comes to you, meaning there's this pleasure, you reflect it back. The reflection of that light is what you're interested in, is what you want to get. It's very deep why the ol chozer fits with our vessels, doesn't crack our vessels, doesn't leave our vessels to let them fall into the klipos. By the way, I just want to tell you, klipos are emotional pain. You're sad, you're depressed, you're angry, you don't know why. Everything is the same. You're fine. You just feel not good. You don't feel good. So then you go out in the world and you try looking for something or someone or something or anything or whatever to just make me feel good. And then I make myself feel good, I fill up my vessel, I get that good feeling, and then it leaves me again. And then I'm not just again, I'm deeper in. This is such an easy thing to do, and it literally is life-shifting and changing. I didn't think it was going to be so life-shifting and changing, but literally it's life-shifting. Your script changes. You'll do this, and you'll do it a few times, and you'll be like, oh, it's nothing. And then you will see yourself feeling different, seeing things differently, seeing people differently, interacting differently, attracting differently. Oh my gosh.
Can you give another example, not a Coke, just like...
Yes.
Yeah, I was also thinking that.
Like feasible.
Yes.
You can understand.
Not necessarily a bad habit to stop smoking, stop drinking, stop doing that. Like something.
No, I didn't tell you to stop.
No,
Specifically, I said go.
Like a different type of example.
A different example, no problem. Anything, could be anything. For example, anger, gossip, Shabbos, anything that is luring to you. For example, it's very luring to get angry. It's very luring to be miserable in a way. To be, to be angry at life and have a reason for it. It's legitimate now. It's very, it's like a person that you live with, that you just don't have a good relationship with, and you're in this like cycle, in this loop of he says this and I say that, and I don't know how to get out of that. So what happens is that you want to now relish, not in chocolate, but in anger. You want to give it to him. Excuse me? Deserves it. You know what I did? Right? You want to, right now, you don't have the head. You don't have the head for whatever, I don't know, Shabbat, let's say, for example. You don't have the head for it. Specifically where you don't have the head for something. Specifically where you want something. Like to get angry. Like to go gossip about someone that's spreading rumors about you. As opposed to just separating yourself and being away from that whole thing and not being in that like dog eat dog situation. Okay? The way to be able to receive, to become a giver in that position is not to indulge. Not to indulge. To indulge would mean the knee-jerk reaction of something that I normally would react, now I am not. I'm not for 5 minutes. I'm not for 10 minutes. I'm just not now.
Oh, so still you can react, but after some time?
Yes, you steal some time. You say, oh, of course I'm going to react this way. Duh, I'm going to react this way. They deserve it. They have it. But I'm going to take a space. I'm going to create a masach. I'm going to create a wall. I'm going to create distance between me and my natural reaction.
And then what, the reaction will be different? Or
You'll see.
crazy.
You'll see. You could have the same reaction in 10 minutes from then. But give yourself the 10 minutes that you're doing there is a gym for your soul. It's the gym for your soul. So let's say, for example, here's an amazing example. I love this example. This is my favorite example. Let's say you came home full. Let's say you're still living with your parents, okay? Whatever. Okay, let's say you came home full. You're full. You just had like 4 tacos. You're good. Okay? And you walk in and you're just like, and your mother is like, I made you dinner! Right? And she puts out a whole dinner. So, to take for yourself would mean to say,
I'm not hungry.
I'm not hungry. Good. To give would mean,
Okay, I'm going to come 5 minutes and come.
to give would mean to sit down and eat your food. Because your natural reaction, your knee-jerk reaction there is, I don't want it. I don't want it. My needs are full. I don't have a need for this. But what you're doing in the moment that you're sitting there and eating is that you've moved from a place of taking, because you're not hungry, to a place of giving. Because the only reason you're eating it is because you want to make her happy. You don't want to insult her. You want to tell her how good her food is. You want to thank her for her efforts.
Yeah, like what about putting some limits? Because sometimes when you do only for others, you forget yourself. And you have to
So we're not going to go to the extreme. We're not going to the extreme. We're talking, this is all the gym of the soul. We're talking the gym of the soul. There would be nothing wrong if you would say to her, you know what, I just ate. Can we put it in the fridge and I'll eat it later? There's no avera, and there's nothing wrong with it. But we're working right now, we're focusing a lot of our efforts on this soul here, this nefesh thing here. And when I'm able to, and this is going to answer so many of your questions, we didn't even get to an Abdolach yet. An Abdolach is class 6. We're just building up towards an Abdolach right now. We're building the basic understandings of how to get to a place where you can see something that's so filthy, that's so dirty, that's so not it, that's so gross outside of you, and look and see it from a whole different perspective now. And this has to be a prerequisite to that. It has to be a prerequisite to that. You have to know how to bring in the light. You have to know how to bring in pleasure for real. Not pleasure because it's like, I want it, now give it to me. That's the pleasure that's coming in, it's going to leave you, and then it's going to leave you. It's going to leave you with unresolved business. It's going to leave you with not feeling good. It's going to leave you, and you don't know why you're not feeling good. You don't know why you're feeling empty. You don't know why you're running on fumes. You don't know why you're unhappy and unsatisfied with life. What's wrong? You don't know. And we all know that it has really very little to do with money, because we know the people that have gotten to Hollywood and have made it rich and made it famous and they have all the money, they're the ones that fall off the cliff the fastest. So we all know that has nothing to do with if I would have money, then I would be fill in the blank. It's all stuff. So the whole thing we're interested in, the only kind of pleasure we want is the O Chozel. And the way to be able to receive the O Chozel is by creating masachim, is by creating boundaries. The only way to create boundaries, the only way to do that is to, number one, when you have a knee-jerk reaction for something, you give yourself space and time. Even if it's 2 minutes, even if it's 1 minute, do it. It'll save your life. You'll start projecting different things on your life. You'll start seeing differently. You'll start attracting differently. You're shifting your entire internal world. What could be better? That's all you're here for. You're not here to be busy with anything or anyone else besides for yourself. Your kids, your spouse, your family, everyone in your life is just here as a helper in your mission, on your journey. Whether they act nicely to you or not. And if they're not, there's very good reason for that. Not because they're whatever their reasons are, but because God's reasons are. So let's say right now, you know something is good for you. You know that, let's say, coming to Jerusalem for Shabbat, let's just say. No, I'm just saying. So let's say you know that that's good for you, but like there's a party, and like you're stay in your bed, and it's so like cold, and like it's Shabbat, and like what are you gonna do without your phone? And like, knee-jerk reaction would be to
Not good.
check out. I have my grandfather's yahrzeit, right? That's a good one, right? I gave you a reason, remember? I was like, why are you not going for Shabbat? She's like,
Writing that down.
I'll give you some, I have better ones. And so, that would be knee-jerk reaction. Just think what your knee-jerk reaction would be in every given situation, whether to run towards something or run away from it, and then give yourself time and space. Take the time and the space. If you're running towards something, take time and space. Breathe. Give yourself a few minutes. And if you're running away from something, it's time and space. 1 second. Why am I running away from that? What about that am I running away from? Who am I running towards when I run away from that? What am I running towards when I'm running away from that? I'm running towards comfort. I'm running towards what I know. I'm running towards easy. Life happens on the edge. Life happens on the edge. On the edge means when you're not comfortable.
Do the people around you feel that you do that? Like taking yourself back, taking 10 minutes, thinking about it. Do you get it?
You don't have to think about anything.
You just step back.
You just don't go for it. You're handcuffed. You don't go for it. If you have to go for something that you don't want to go for, then go for it. If you can. And it also doesn't have, remember that this world is not all or nothing. God is not interested in all or nothing. He's interested in taking baby steps. So Shabbos doesn't necessarily mean keep the whole Shabbos. That's why I keep telling my mother every single week. You don't have to keep the whole Shabbos. Just don't smoke cigarettes an hour on Friday night. That's it. But it's like, nah, I have to keep Shabbos. So she whips out her cigarette the second after we yeah, no. I'm like, well, because that's the evil inclination right there. That's coming to tell you it's all or nothing, girlfriend. It's black and white, man. Either you do it or you don't do it. You're in or out. It doesn't work that way. Everything is a process. Everything is a process. Healthy self happens in time. And by the fact that you're all sitting here and that you all care enough about yourselves and about your future and about your present and about your relationships and about everything that you're manifesting and experiencing in your life shows a lot and tells a lot about you. So you're already on the path. You're already on the path. Some people there's no connection between them in this room. You understand that? This doesn't even cross their mind. It doesn't come into their space. You're already evolved beings. That's why you're already in this process, in this work. Any questions? Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If anybody wants to know more about the Jerusalem weekend, speak to me afterwards. If anybody would like to come to it, there's still amazing space for you. Tomorrow night, I'm doing a talk from Bar Kokhba. Feel free. I'm giving a talk on this week's Parsha. My essay make it really relevant and inspiring. And if anybody's interested in coming to Poland, we're now picking up from Poland.
I want to go to Poland.
So yeah, let's do it. So talk super soon. It's going to be also like